Is it really the visuals that terrify people, or is it the screeching, unexplainable sounds from a source infinitely far away? The aftermath of a horror script should leave the subject with unimaginable horrors that never existed in the world that the subject existed in so far. But that's not the case anymore. The day I started watching horror movies was the day I realized that the things started to become less terrifying the more I looked into them. Suddenly, Conjuring became a movie that comforted me more than it actually scared me, and it was because of the family that was stronger than the actual ghost. It even had fireplace gatherings, and that is what added to it. Same went with Insidious, Annabelle, It, and every other horror shit that I watched, but let me tell you what made these movies not scary at all. Conclusion. When we start concluding each and every story, regardless of how powerful the plot of antagonist entity was, that's when jump scares, backstory, plot, and process all become predictable and bland. For example, Conjuring is a waste of time because these two people will fuck the ghost up no matter who it might be. Yeah, fuck you, I know your name. That is kind of stupid, but we are not doomed after all. See, I found a lot of inconclusive stuff that lets your brain go free on imagination. Imagination where you start to see faces in the darkest corner known to man. Stuff where files either got closed forever or the subjects just vanished without actually putting an end to the entity they started investigating in the first place. Let's start. SCP-087. This comes from the fictional SCP Foundation that does the same task that the foundation that handled mother boxes in DC did. They secure, contain, and protect the entity that according to the source code of the world should never have existed in the first place, but yet it does somehow. SCP-087 is a never-ending staircase in a campus unknown, and in this staircase exists an entity with no face and no eyes, and yet it can move fast and hunt people down that try and find the origin of the screams coming from the staircase or the floor these stairs lead to, and by lead to I mean an infinity to which an end does not exist. And what makes this more scary is the rabbit hole of these type of entities that exist beyond human understanding. But for a split second, if you thought that the knowledge that we possess so far might be of some use in order to protect ourselves against them, then let me give you a different perspective. The Mandela catalogue. What if the angel Gabriel from the beginning of the time was an imposter all along? So practically all that you knew about your protector Jesus was planted in your head, so one day when the time comes to harvest, you will have a false idea about who and what is supposed to protect you. What if you find out one day that the concept of good and evil was all an illusion, and now everything that you believed in is trying to kill you? It can also take shape and form of someone that you trust or lived with your entire life. They can crawl into your household through technology. No door can protect you, and even the police says this:
nothing is worth the risk, nothing is worth the risk, nothing is worth the risk.
Each and every frame of this catalog persuades your mind to imagine the worst. Each entity till volume 2 only showed up as a humanoid JPEG, and sometimes just a shadow knocking at the door, and the reason why it's so effective, it's because it's up to you to decide what horrifying creatures lies beyond. Well, then we actually are making progress. For the first time, we are the ones creating horror specific to our own self. This might not scare everyone, but what we fear the most will definitely scare us. Because at the end, it'll be us imagining our worst fear taking shape behind that door. But wait, this entity requires you to unlock your door or actually watch something on TV to actually kill you or hypnotize you into killing yourself. But what if I mention an entity that isn't confinable at all?
It should hold, right?
Just get a hold of Alexis.
SCP-096, a humanoid entity that actually have a lot of theories about its origin. But the first thing that I saw about this entity was it breaking out of a chamber that was designed to be unbreakable. Alternates can be hurt and slowed down by human-made weapons, but this piece of naked shit doesn't even give a fuck about a ballistic missile and eats bullets like they are peanuts, and is called a Shy Guy. That's literally its name. So how do I protect myself against it? And your curiosity to look for more. This image have pixels of him, and the ones who saw it Did you see it? You sure? 4 pixels in an image on a fucking paper. And this shy guy knows how to find you kilometers away, locked in an unbreakable cage.
4 fucking pixels?
You are fucking dead. The point of this whole conversation was, did you see it, is to maintain inconclusive anomalies, the theme of modern horror, which brings us to someone or something that actually did it right a long time ago. The Pyramid, 2014. This is a movie about Anubis trapped inside a pyramid, and when people tried to dig deep, they ended up getting killed in the most unnerving ways possible, getting shredded, their hearts ripped out, getting burnt with acid like stuff and whatnot. And the best part about this movie is that this movie ends without a conclusion. Is Anubis going to die? What will happen to the rest of the world? See, this is the type of horror that I like. We are pathetic, puny humans. We don't have the control over unknown. The best we could do is save our own lives. Forget about eliminating the threat, just run and hide till someone finds you. But most of the times in real horror movies, the someone that finds you isn't the one who you expected it to be. Just take a look at this shot for an instance.
What the hell is wrong with you, man?
This is one of the best reactions that I've ever seen so far. Death is imminent and this guy knows it. Same goes with backrooms. Once stuck, the only way out is at the mercy of chaos that got you in there in the first place. There is no concept of God in there, and even if there was, why would he ever create this anomaly? And this is one of theories of mine that actually scares me the most. What if all these anomalies that exist in the world are being created by us the more we tamper with nature? So the more we try to find a solution and explanation to it, the worst it gets. As above, so below. A movie about hell that existed underneath the streets of Paris in the catacombs restricted to humans. Imagine entering hell itself and finding out that whatever we have heard so far in our life about hell and heaven is true. Is that more terrifying, or is it the fact that whatever we know and heard of so far was true but actually wasn't complete? What if you find yourself in a domain where the concept of Christ or any other god that you believe in is actually non-existent? So now it's just you and your limbs standing against a shadow chasing you with the intentions unclear. See, at this point, we are not discovering what already existed, but rather we are creating new horrors or hell in the pursuit of knowing more. And if that is true, then was it really God that gave life to us, or was it our ancestors that created an entity that they referred to as God, but it actually was something that lied beyond the concept of black and white? Inconclusive, yet again. Bye.